yesterday's lesson. And I've asked you to graph f of x equals x cubed. And a few of you have made a table of values. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to plug in -2, -1, 0, 1, and 2. What is -2 to the third?
Negative.
Perfect. Pick somebody.
How about Sparta?
Sparta, -1 to the third. Okay, pick somebody. 0 to the third. Okay, pick somebody. Trevor, 1 to the third. Pick somebody. 2 to the third. Perfect. So that table of values gives me the original equation, right? So I'm going to plot those. I'm going to use blue to plot mine, but you probably use colored pencil, right? Which is perfect. I'm sorry, you use your pencil, which is perfect. On this next one, we're going to use colored pencils. Okay? On this next one, we're going to use colored pencils. So pick up your favorite color of pencil. And hopefully there's one that writes. And you're going to write this equation down next. F of x equals x minus 4 cubed. That's it. X minus 4 cubed. Now you do not need to make a new table of values, right? Because according to yesterday's lesson, we could just move this. So I'd like you to move all of those points and regraph it on that same graph using that colored pencil. Now if you forgot what that -4 inside does, look back in your notes to yesterday. We actually gave an example. If it says minus, I move it this way if it's inside those parentheses. That'll help us. Now you shouldn't need to make a new chart because you're only shifting them one direction, right? It's whenever I start adding in a lot of things, like a number in the front, a number in the back, a multiplier, things like that. Then I need this chart. So Logan, you were the last person picked on. Who do you want to pick? Haven't talked yet, hopefully. Sorry, you want. He picked you. Oh. Okay, we'll go again. All right, so where do I move all my points? Over to the right 4. Okay. So I'll use pink. I'll go to the right 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4. 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. So there's my new graph, right? So let's do another one. Let's do, and pick up a new colored pencil for this one. F of x is equal to negative x cubed. So I've got a negative in front of the whole thing. Got a negative in front of the whole thing. You have to think, what does a negative in front do to the whole thing? And go ahead and try to graph that before we tell you what it does. Again, you can use your notes, so flip back, look at your notes because you took notes on what happened. So for this problem, you're flipping it over the x-axis, right? And the way I do that is I figure out how far away the points are from the x-axis. So this point right here is how far away? 1 above. So I actually want to move it 1 below. This point is 1 below, so I'm going to move it 1 above. This point is 8 below, so I'm going to move it 8 above. And this point is 8 above, so I'll move it 8 below. And I'll draw my new graph. Do you notice that I keep using key points to help me do this? I don't just try to move the whole graph, I actually move the key points and then redraw the graph, right? And every time I'm going back to that original graph. I didn't flip the pink graph, I flipped my blue original graph. Let's do f of x equals 2x cubed. 2x cubed. So I've got a number on the outside. Will this affect my x's or my y's? They'll affect my y's. Good. That's right, Sacco. They will affect my y. And do I use the regular 2? Or do I have to flip it? It doesn't move it up 2. It multiplies by 2. See how it says 2 times? So now I'm going to multiply all of my y values by 2. So go ahead and regraph that using a different color pencil again. By multiplying them all by 2. Exactly. I'm just doing little pieces so we can review and see, okay, this piece does that. Because when you go and take your next quiz or your chapter test, I'm not going to give you one giant equation maybe. I may just say, what does this piece do to the entire graph? And you can say right here, it multiplies my y. So it's stretching it this way, vertically. We'll go with bright yellow. Hopefully that'll change. Doesn't really change much, does it? So I tried to make mine work. Kind of hard to tell the difference, but the one's an orange and the one's a yellow. But do you see how it just stretches it this way? Okay. All right. Go ahead. I did. Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't. Good call. I got all excited and started on the yellow graph. All right, so I want to multiply this one by 2 and this one by 2. Very good catch, by the way. No, that's why we always check with each other. Okay, there we go. Better? All right. Let's do one now. So I'm going to throw a lot of things at you instead. And we may need to now change my table of values instead. Are you ready? F of x equals, we will stick, let's go with 1/2 1/2, we'll go with the 1/2 right there, x minus 3 cubed plus 4. So a lot of pieces, right? So I'm going to be very honest. I'm going to have to use the chart, right? Like we did yesterday on our assignment. We actually wrote the chart down because I have 1, 2, 3, 4 numbers now to deal with, don't I? On these ones, I only have one number. So if I only have one number, I can just move the graph. But if I've got 4 numbers, I probably want to change my chart. So use what you did on last night's essential homework and see if you can do this. So, again, we're using this big, giant equation. We're trying to mess with it based on the original function. Notice, I had to do the original before I could actually do this, right? Okay? This is called the parent function. So this would be like a child right here. But the parent function is the generic function. So I know I'm going to take those points. And do you want to start inside or outside today? Brandon? Inside. All right. Inside I do everything opposite. So I want to add 3 to which part? Good. All right. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Well, that was way too easy, right? Now what am I going to do with them all? All right, so 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Well, that was simple, right? Nice and simple. Who do you want to pick now?
I think Charlie.
All right. Now Cheyenne missed yesterday, but she was very smart. She went on YouTube, watched the whole video, took the notes off there. That makes me happy. So let's see if Cheyenne can pick up what we did yesterday. And if you can't, we'll help you through it. Okay, so what did you do here first for the Y? Yes.
I added one and then
Well, take a look up here. Let's just look at the equation real quick, Cheyenne.
oh, I subtracted one.
You didn't subtract 1/2. What's happening between the 1/2 right here, Cheyenne, and the whole equation?
I divided by one.
You multiply.
Yeah.
Yeah. You do what's actually there in order on the outside, okay? So let's multiply those by 1/2. What do you get?
About 1/2. 4.
So you got -4.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Give me the next one.
Negative 1/2.
Perfect.
0
There you go.
and 1/2.
There you go.
4.
Oops, 1/2 and then 4, right?
I just did it.
Okay. Yeah. See, as soon as I get you to look at the board instead of your paper, you do much better, right? Okay. Now what do I do with this +4? Yeah. So I'm going to add it. I get 0. I get, oh, I'm sorry. That would be wrong. 3.5, okay. 4. 4.5, and then I get 8. So now let's graph that. Let's pick a bold color. Let's go with purple. So I go to 2 and to 0. I go to 4 and to 3.5. I go to 6 and I go to 4. I go to 8. And I go to 4.5. And I go to 10 and I go up to 8. All right. So here's my new and final last graph. Okay, take a look. So we've given you every step here. Did you mess up your X's?
No, I did different numbers. I started with these, and then I did the
Right. That's what we did here too. So your ending points, it looks like, are wrong.
I don't know how.
What X value do you have?
Well, I did different numbers.
No. Go back to the original chart.
Yeah, I did. I had -2, -1, 0.
Okay, so what X values do you have? They should be my exact X values, because if you use my X values there, you're using these X values here. Okay. So I've got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 for my X values. On your X values, Ryan,
Subtract
you add 3. Got to do the opposite. Add 3, then multiply by 2. So write yourself a little note there. That way you can easily get that next time. See, we found that mistake pretty quickly. So I have a question. The 1/2 on the inside, what does it do to the graph? What did the 1/2 right here on the inside, right here, do to the graph? What do you think, Sparta? Didn't shrink it. Remember, we used the reciprocal, so technically we used 2, so it actually stretched it which way, though? Horizontally. So just in fact, they're going like this, right? Good. What does the 1/2 do here on the outside? This 1/2 right here. It actually does. It shrunk it. Which way? Vertically. And those are key words right there that will be chapter test questions. Okay? Whether does it do it vertically, does it do it horizontally, things like that. And does it stretch it or shrink it? Make sense? Alright. So we're going to stop there for today and give you the essential work. So I have a lot of other stuff, but hey, wait, we kind of did that already, didn't we? Hey, wait, we talked about that. A negative on the outside, a negative on the inside. Flips it over the x-axis and over the y-axis. That's all that's talking about. Hey, we talked about that, right? That's the stretching part.
Okay.
Okay? And so On this part, thus again, the stretching and shrinking part, right? So finally, here's your essential work.
Wow, this is all the